Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark with the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2021 French drama Playground.
D'accord, moi c'est la dernière.
Hey, well, I hope that's not true. I hope I still have a few more reviews left in the tank here. Playground is the writing and directorial debut of Laura Wandel and is the coming-of-age story of Nora and her brother Abel as they try to navigate the complexities of the kindergarten playground. Now, I thought this movie was incredible. I have a twin sister, and we kind of went through similar things on when we were at school together, but not nearly as, I would say, dramatic as what these two children went through. I think it also explains very well the differences that boys and girls face when they are together in groups. So Nora is 7 years old. She's trying to make friends at school. At first, when she first goes to school, she's very reserved. She keeps to herself. She has a hard time talking to people. But as the movie goes on, people end up coming up and introducing themselves to her. She ends up getting this friend group together, and they end up playing and having fun for a while. Her brother Abel, who is older than her, from the very start of this movie, he is just bullied on repeatedly and constantly by the other boys at the school. It's because he's smaller. It's because he is timid. He does not speak. He does not fight back. He does not speak up for himself. He just kind of takes it and allows it to happen. And because of this, the other boys kind of prey on him because he is an easy target. So already you can kind of see the difference of how boys are treated and how girls are treated, and just the mentality of young boys and the mentality of young girls. Nora ends up realizing that her brother is being beaten, and she tries to stop it. She approaches the boys and tries to make them stop beating up her brother. She approaches the adults around the play yard, trying to get them to stop the beating up of her brother. And she even approaches her father and asks her father, Abel's getting beat up every day at school. We need to do something about this. Abel does not want her to intervene. He kind of says that to just let it happen, that it's not her responsibility, it's not her job to protect him, and he gets kind of annoyed at the fact that she is stepping in. Now when her father steps in, things become a lot worse. He approaches the kids and tells them straight away, do not hurt my child. If you hurt my child, I'm coming for you, type of thing. And then of course the abuse of Abel becomes even worse. And as Abel is getting abused, he's getting dunked in toilets, and the other girls, Nora's friends, are seeing this happening, and they kind of treat Nora a different way too, where they don't want to hang around her because her brother is the school. It seems like he's the school laughingstock, basically, that he's just getting beat up all the time and doesn't defend himself. And if it affects Nora's life in that the girls don't want to hang around her anymore, to the point where she starts lashing out at Abel, where she starts getting upset. She says she hates him, she doesn't want to be around him anymore, that she... basically just doesn't want anything to do with him. And this kind of makes things worse for Abel also, because maybe he had this person he could turn to if he needed to, but now he doesn't have that. And then as the movie goes further along, they definitely seem like they start going different paths. They start separating from each other a little bit. At the end of the movie, a turn happens here where Abel becomes a bully, and he starts bullying this kid, and Nora starts feeling bad for the kid who's getting bullied, because the same thing happened to her brother, and now it's happening to this kid, and she didn't want it to happen to either one of them. So she approaches Abel and she says, hey, look, what's going on? Why are you attacking this boy? Is it because of something I did? Is it because of something I said? He basically tells her it's too late, don't worry about it, this is my thing, I don't want you to intervene again. So kind of the same response that she got last time, only at the end of the movie something very almost very tragic happens. It's very rough to watch the end of this movie and what's going on and how Abel is bullying this kid. When Nora does finally intervene and she says, and she embraces her brother, and that's kind of how the movie ends. There's no real. From what I can tell, there's no repercussions for Abel for what he did, except the fact that he feels very bad about it, and maybe he's going to change his ways, but who knows? You don't really know at the end of the movie. You get that feeling that he might, but then he might resort back to what he was doing. And it kind of shows the environment that you're in when you're out of school like this, and when you're in an environment like this where you are bullied and you are treated a certain way. When you become bigger and you become older, you feel like you need to do that to other kids because it was done to you. And I think that's what happened here with Abel, is that he felt that since he was treated so poorly and that he was kicked around because he was smaller, now that he's like a bigger kid and there's people smaller than him, he should do that to the other kids as well. Definitely a different dynamic being a female and a male on this playground, and how you are treated. And under the surface, I think that with Abel's character, he was pushing away his sister, and then once she finally, but she was still trying to help him. She was still trying to be there for him. And then once she started pushing away, and once she started saying that she hated him and she didn't want to be around him anymore, I think that kind of changed him a little bit. Even though you don't see that in the movie, you don't outwardly see that. I think that he did finally lose his safety net. He did finally lose like the only person he had in his life, and he also decided that he didn't have any reason to try to be better, to try to better himself, to try to get out of this situation because he didn't have anyone. It's such a hard movie to watch, especially when I have a daughter, and I try to think what would happen if my child was ever bullied like this on a playground. What would happen if my child was treated like this? I don't know how I would act, and I'm not sure if the father really did enough. So he talked to the boys, and then he kind of let it go. I think there were signs after he talked to these boys that things were still wrong, and he tried to approach Nora, and he tried to get Nora to like keep him up to date as to what was happening, and she didn't want to do it. She didn't feel comfortable doing it, and you don't really see any other outreach from him after that. There's a scene where Nora wanted to be invited to a birthday party, but she wasn't, and she causes kind of a scene about it, and then he's called in for that, and you see him kind of snooping around the playground a little bit, trying to see what's going on with his son, but was he really trying to figure out what was going on? Was he really trying to help his son in this situation? You don't really know. You don't see any conversations he's actually having with Abel. Now, Abel is kind of quiet and doesn't seem like he wants to talk about it, but you don't see him pushing the situation. You don't see him telling Abel, it's okay, let me know what's wrong. You don't really see a lot from him, I felt like. And then what I'm asking, especially at the end of the movie, where Abel does this terrible thing, where are the teachers and where are the people who are supposed to be watching after these kids? Now there's a scene where there's one professor or teacher who is constantly breaking up fights and constantly being called in each and every direction. Is she the only one who's there? Are they that understaffed? And is it that difficult that they don't have enough adults to patrol this recess area, to patrol what's going on? I don't remember when I was in elementary school. I think there were like enough people to really. There weren't really these issues. This is in Belgium, so it's in a different country. But when I was young, very long time ago, there weren't these type of issues. There were enough adults around, there were enough people around to kind of police what was going on. And it's crazy to me that there's all these children who are witnessing these terrible events going on, and instead of actually saying something, they're just kind of whispering to each other that things are happening. And it's very hard. It's very hard to see that, like, what could Abel have done to get out of the situation that he was in, and especially since it doesn't seem like he had a lot of people to rely on except his sister. But when his sister intervened, things became worse. So he was kind of in a situation also that wasn't fair to him, a situation that he couldn't get out of. I mean, what is he supposed to do as a kid being constantly bullied and ridiculed and teased and tortured? I mean, it's really hard to watch, but I think it's a really important movie to watch. It's important to know like what could go on at a playground like this, and how kids are bullied and how kids are treated. And to be perfectly honest, I thought at the end of the movie Abel was going to do something that was really bad, but not. I mean, but what he did wasn't. I guess. I mean, it was bad, but it was not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. But you could tell that there was something boiling under the surface here. You could tell that he was that the type of bullying and ridiculing he was going through, he was going to. There was going to be some sort of repercussions here. There was going to be something where he was going to do something really bad that he just because he would want to get revenge in life. And yeah, it's hard to watch. It's hard to see that your fellow students and people around you can kind of really decide who you're going to be like later in life like this. But anyway, I'm just rambling now. I thought the movie was really powerful. I thought it was really well done. The children actor, the children actors who play Nora and Abel are really the two main actors in this movie, and they did a fantastic job. The directing is great, writing is spectacular, especially for a debut of a writer director. I thought it was quite good. I give the movie a 9 out of 10. Thank you. Have a great day.